Welcome to the Hold On Till Dawn podcast. I'm your host, Erin, and today I have two very special guests. It's Tyler Visgilio and Johnny. Hi. Wait, can I hear you? It says you're connected. Say something.
Can you hear me?
Yes! Yay!
We did it.
Yay! Hi!
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Johnny.
Yeah.
Here's Johnny.
Cool. What's up?
Hey, how are you?
Good. I'm sorry, I need a few extra minutes.
No, that's okay. No
It's all
problem at
good,
all.
John.
You guys
We're
both
just
look
happy
beautiful,
you're here.
as always.
John, you're literally glowing right now.
Oh,
He's got
Looks
I'd
like
be
it's
lying.
like 12
I'd be
o'clock
lying
in
if
the
I said there
afternoon
wasn't
there.
a little ring light behind me.
No, he's in Massachusetts.
Oh,
Do you read any of our text messages?
I forget sometimes. Johnny's moving around a lot. He's hard to get a hold of. He's like Carmen Sandiego.
You know that I've been moving around.
3 cities in a year might have been just a little bit aggressive.
Wow. Whole team's here.
Look at
Yeah, this
us.
is so exciting. I've told a lot of people about the three of us doing an episode, and everyone I've told is like, I'm so excited to listen to this.
Oh,
Stop gassing,
love
Erin.
Not because of me, but because of you guys.
The guests.
Oh, also, Tyler, I wanted to ask,
That's
where
true.
did you get your Listen to Johnny shirt? Because I want one.
From the website.
Oh, you have them on your website?
The source himself. I got you one. Let me look upstairs. I think I have a few of those. What's your men's size? Small?
What's
Medium?
my men's size?
Yeah,
Small.
t-shirt. All right, let me see. Let me look upstairs. I got a few of those, I think.
Okay.
Oh
Okay.
no, we're glitching bad.
Johnny is glitching.
Is it okay?
You
Good.
Me, yeah.
Johnny, is this really Johnny or is this AI?
No.
I feel like I'm talking to an AI Johnny. There he is.
There's too much streaming going on in this house right now. So I was like, oh, I got that football game on in the other room. I should probably shut that off.
That should help.
Yeah.
This is my 24th recording of an episode, so I feel like I'm doing now.
You're a podcaster.
Yeah, you're a legit podcaster.
You're like 2 seasons in.
All right.
2 seasons in a movie, you know?
And a movie.
I need to Hold On Till
The
Dawn
feature
movie.
film too.
I just gotta say, I'm so grateful to both of you because this whole me being in this room in this podcast with both of you would have never have happened if it wasn't for Tyler alley-ooping to Erin and then just having 2 great shows together and
Yeah.
the
Erin.
friendship is born.
Yes.
Really is all Erin.
Yeah.
I'm just
Well,
like
it's
kind of
you
like that
too.
glue in between,
Yeah.
grabbing people,
Bringing them together.
bringing them together.
Oh, yeah.
No, yeah, I'm glad it all worked out the way it did too. Like it was all like just ran kind of by itself.
Yeah.
All just kind of kept falling into place.
After it fell apart a couple times, yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean,
After like 1,400 speed bumps for Erin.
still fell into place, you know.
The
It may
day
have
of the
fallen,
show,
but
yes, it did.
it fell into place.
Yeah, and I feel very grateful for all the performers. All of them were willing to come on the podcast and like talk, and like that meant a lot to me.
Like you did get like a really great group of people to come and do the show, and everyone was like pretty willing to like hop on board and kind of make it better.
Yeah. And they've
So,
all been super supportive, like even after the show. They're like, reach out to me if you need anything. Like, I'm always here, always willing to help. Like, Alex, I saw like at her concert a couple months ago, and she like said that she's like, don't be afraid to ever reach out. And Drew, I saw in Wilmington a couple weeks ago, and he said the same thing. He's like, I'm excited to listen to more of your podcast. Like, I'm really excited for what you're doing, and blah blah blah. So like, it's just nice to have people that care. And then Johnny is like willing to come on my podcast.
I'll fly to the middle of nowhere in Jersey to come on your podcast in person. Erin, don't you worry about that.
Oh, will you really? Because that would be exciting. The only person I've interviewed in person so far was Sadie.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Is
me and
that an
Tyler will come out.
in-person?
We'll build you a little podcast studio in your apartment.
Yeah.
These are the early days of the Hold On Till Dawn
These are great.
podcast,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. I mean, this is a better setup than I had at my other house. My other house was in my dining room, and I had to like reset every time I was recording. So
Yeah,
I mean,
I
look at your
remember.
background. You got a great background with the posters.
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, you're basically the Joe Rogan studio of Zoom podcasts, you know?
I see no difference.
Joe Rogan, he is the number one podcaster.
I remember when we did the podcast you had me on, you were doing laundry and you were like, can you
Yes.
hear that? And I was like, I actually can't. So it's fine.
I was like, I have to stop my dryer before it beeps really loudly 3 times because it will. Yeah.
Oh man, you guys, it's great to see you and talk to you guys.
know.
Look at us.
Look at us.
We made it out of the group chat.
Yeah, we did. No, it's funny because like I know we had this like kind of group discussion, you know, we're pulling the curtain back here, but like this group discussion beforehand about like how to approach this right. And you know, I think what's important, most importantly, I mean, I think we're kind of like we're spitballing here as this thing goes on, which is I think totally fine too. But like I think what's most important is that like our generation specifically in our age bracket has experienced, I think, 2 very severe things. Like all of our friends are either married with kids or all of us have, I would say like another 75 to 90% of us have been through some sort of 1 or 2 or 3 or whatever serious relationships. And now we're in our 30s and it's like, okay, it's weird to date in your 30s to begin with, but like especially given the time that we're in right now, right? Like post-pandemic is I think a very big part of it all. Like so many people I feel like are so the dating scene is just very like lucid. Like it's fluid and there's not a whole lot of like confidence that you have going into a situation. And like I just feel like at any point in time like people feel a lot more inclined to just be like I'm gonna ghost or I'm just gonna pop out. And I don't know if that's because of the way that like we've been introduced to this like you know online dating world, or because with the pandemic it was like everybody was so focused on themselves in a lot of ways, like in the sense that the comfort level that you had prior and then going into it and then now is like what makes you more comfortable in your personal life. And there's a lot of, I think, part of the dating scene that as you get more like serious with somebody, like you have to kind of step out of your comfort zone in order to get to that. And I think it's just like a lot of societal pressure that sort of has like come upon us within all of that. If that's a good way to kick it off. I don't know if I'm saying
that is great, Johnny.
Right?
That was amazing.
That
I think like to kind of piggyback on that too, I think social media and other things kind of make it look like there's an abundance of options out there for you too, which also kind of adds on to like I can ghost, you know what I mean? Makes it almost seem like it's easier for someone to skip out and get something new when it really is a barren wasteland of disappointment.
And think that like oh, wait, I met this shiny new person and she hasn't shown me any of her problems. But I've been in a 3-year relationship and we have problems. So I'm going to leave that and I'm going to jump ship to this brand new squeaky clean person
Yeah.
because she appears to be better than this person that I know everything about. And something that I was talking to one of my coworkers about was I was like, I'm in my mid 30s now. It's come to the point where like I'm going on dates. I'm not going to hide like anything. I'll hide some things, sure. But I'm not going to like change who I am. Like, you know how kind of you put on a front in the first couple of dates
Yeah.
because you want them to like you? I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm not doing that because
You're not
if
wasting
then,
time.
yeah, and then if like things change and I'm like turning into who I really am, they're like, this wasn't what you were like when I first met you. Like, I don't want to date you. Like, I don't even want to risk the fact of them being like, wait, this is not who you were at the beginning. I don't want this. So I'm like, here I am. This is what I'm like. I have anxiety. I have depression. I have a podcast. I write books. I teach dance. And like, this is my life. Like, you can either hop on or you can hop off, but like, it's up to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's also a big part of us sort of like growing up and having gone through whatever we each of us or all of us collectively have gone through in our own various relationships in the past that haven't worked out. Um, it kind of just shows you like you see those red flags or those things that you don't really
Yeah.
particularly like want to be in your life, and you kind of instantly start to recognize that and be like, I'm not going to put up with this. So I know this isn't going to work out. Or
Mm-hmm.
I know it's not going to work out if this is like a non-negotiable for that person,
Yeah.
Perfectly said.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, yeah. So again, I think part of it is it's gotten harder because we've gotten older and also because of the societal changes. But a big part of it too is just like we're not like just dating like in your 20s. I feel like dating in your 20s is like so different because
You
Yeah.
have energy.
you're excited, you have energy, you're like, yeah, I'll go do that, like on a random Thursday night, or like, and
Yeah.
I don't know, like we've been through a lot in our like you know short life too, like
No, totally.
you know
It's like, and even like we were kind of at like the birth of the like dating apps too, with like the Tinder and the Bumble, and
Yeah.
like even that got like super exhausting after a while, and
yeah.
it's just like
Still
for
is.
guys and girls, it is totally different. I haven't done it in a while, so I don't really know. But what I remember is that like it was kind of just turned into like just bots and fake accounts, and it was just like the worst. And then I remembered I was looking at my buddy's Tinder, and it was just like OnlyFans girls, just like
Oh
that's
yeah,
it, just pushing
yeah,
their like
yeah.
Oh,
I was like,
wow.
oh my God, this is awful.
It's like
Like,
a click funnel for
yeah,
like these girls like
yeah.
selling their OnlyFans accounts.
Oh my
uh
God, I'm like, that's crazy now.
well, I actually recently heard that like there's a graph, and it's like I mean, this is all happened in the last like 5 to 10 years. It's like meeting somebody at a bar was like this, and then over the last like 3 or 4 years, it was like,
Oh my
and
God,
then
yeah.
it was literally like dating apps,
Yeah.
and now it's like 90% of people meet each other on dating apps, which is fine. But again, I think that there's the too many options syndrome that you mentioned
Yes.
earlier, Tyler. It's like
Yeah.
if you have that many options and you're just like, okay, I have like these messages like I don't know. I'm not gonna like pursue this because like the timing, could even be timing. Like it's like, oh, I'm going on vacation next week. I'm not gonna keep this conversation going. Like maybe
Right.
I'll hit them up when I get back. Like I don't know. It's just a whole like you have to hit that stride, and I think maybe that's part of
Yeah.
dating too, is like hitting the stride of like the momentum of like meeting somebody and being interested in them, and then having it be the right time, and then like and then it works out. But like I don't know. It's just way different than like when you would like have feelings for somebody, I don't know, even like 10 years ago, like, and it would just be like, all right, I'm just gonna pursue this person, and maybe you date them for a few months and it doesn't work out, or you date them and it works out. Like I don't, and I don't know, maybe I'm way off base with that, but it just doesn't feel like that connection happens quite as fast anymore.
Yeah, I
I
agree.
agree. I totally agree.
And I think what Tyler was saying earlier about social media, I think because social media has become so much more prominent in the last decade, I think that's why a lot of people think of these dating options as like disposable, like, oh wait, I don't like you, I think I can find someone better. Because like when you're scrolling through Bumble or Tinder, you can scroll and like or dislike as many people as you want, and you're like, oh wait, this person isn't perfect, so I'm going to keep going until I find someone that is. One thing I like about Hinge is you can only like a certain amount of people per day. So it's like if a person goes and likes you, they like actually like
Wow,
you.
it meant something.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
This is valuable. This like I gotta.
so every time I go back to a dating app, I go on Hinge only because I feel like that's the most like meaningful.
I mean, yeah, I mean, if we're gonna go there, I feel like the way that Hinge operates is very it's so different. Like the Bumble and Tinder mindset is like swipe first, like shoot your shot later, and you're
Yes.
like you're
Yeah,
like, oh,
yeah,
I didn't mean to swipe on that person, and like,
yeah.
versus
Unmatched.
Right.
just like Hinge, you get the match and you're like, okay, let me go through their profile and like, all right, or you could even like reach out to them beforehand, and like kind of like make an introduction first,
Yes.
which helps too. So, and that makes it, I think, a little bit more personal, where like you can actually have a conversation, or at least try to start a conversation with somebody. Like if you went up to somebody at a bar and you were like, "Hi, like your shoes," like that's a very like
The girl will throw the
simple.
drink in your face if you said
Yeah.
that, John. Are you
Yeah.
crazy?
I went to
Oh.
a
God,
bar.
approaching somebody at a bar seems like a myth to me nowadays. It's like that happened. I
Yeah.
was like,
I went to a bar yesterday with Kim, and I was waiting to be approached, but I was like, there's only like 18-year-olds here and like 55-year-olds. So there's nobody here that would even approach me or
Fair
that I
enough.
would want to approach me.
Yeah,
yeah,
I don't know, but I guess I don't know. I think maybe the like basis of this whole arrangement here, right, was like kind of we've all been through sort of a breakup in our like early 30s, and
Mhm.
with after several or some sort of serious relationship, and I think that leading into dating after that is like a very difficult thing, because not only are you processing like like adult, I mean, my last relationship was a very like my one of my first adult, if not my first adult relationships,
yeah.
and and so to now like come back into the dating world after that and sort of like cope with like losing somebody, and like moving on while also like trying to navigate the like strange tides of right now is like very, it adds another element to like this whole thing, like
Yeah.
are
Totally.
I wonder, am I too guarded sometimes in my approach, or am I just not like looking, or am I not putting in enough effort because I like am still just like I need more time to myself.
Yes, and I 100% relate to that. Like I had gone on a couple dates and then it would end, and even after like 2 dates, I would be like so upset, and I would like talk to my friends about it, and they're like, "Do you think you're this upset because like you're not ready to date again? Because like you literally went on 1 or 2 dates. You should not be this upset." And I was like, "Yeah, that makes sense. Like maybe I haven't fully processed my big breakup entirely, and I'm like trying to move forward before I'm ready, and that's why when these small stupid ones end that don't even matter, it's like my heart is breaking all over again." Yeah.
How do you even know when you're ready, though? You know, how
That's
do
the
you
Yeah.
even know when you're ready? And then you could miss an opportunity that you know?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a really great point. And I mean, well, I mean, I know Tyler for like 10 plus years now. So like he's known every iteration of my dating life for most of my adult life. So, but I can completely like relate to that because it's like, you know, yeah, like part of getting over somebody is like starting something new, like you could still be getting over something, I think, and start something new. And
Totally.
you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
that
Absolutely.
helps you sort of realize like, well, this is actually better for me, and not necessarily better than the other relationship, but it's better for me for who I am right now,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I
This
think about
person fits for what I not need, but like it fits right now.
Yeah.
And, I like spending time with you. So I'm gonna keep doing that.
yeah.
And, and just try and that's what I, you know, tried to do. I didn't try and make, it put a label on something early or anything like that. But if I found myself enjoying spending time with someone, I would keep trying to create opportunities to spend time with them. Um, but and not necessarily make it a date or something serious, but try and like almost ease into it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's easier said than done. Like I was always trying to put myself out there by doing activities like playing volleyball and like a bunch of weird shit.
They say that's what you should
um,
do, though. Go and
Yeah.
I
do
mean,
activities. That's how you'll
just
meet
because
people.
I just can't see myself in the digital space anymore doing that. Like
Yeah.
like my whole future is trying to like minimize my digital footprint. Here I am on a podcast spouting away, but I don't know. Like I never got a good vibe from the digital space. Not that I've done it in a while and I'm sure it's gotten better, but it just what I also wasn't successful at all in it. I
I don't think
had
it's gotten better.
zero matches always. It was just
Yeah,
I remember
right.
Bumble, they had the little like 24-hour timer and I'd be
Yeah.
like there would be girls I'd be like begging to no, 3, 2, 1. You'd like watch it, just poof, gone.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh God.
Bumble's harsh.
Bumble was harsh.
Yeah.
You're just they finally say something, you reply back, then nothing, and you're like,
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. That was just
No,
my experience.
no. I've been thinking about this a lot too. Is like, I think, as we get older and we become different people, maybe that's also why certain relationships don't work out,
Yeah.
Totally.
Wasn't meant for you. It takes you time after a breakup or after something tragic that happens, and it takes you time to be like, why is this happening to me? I thought that this was meant for me. And then something may happen down the line where you're like, oh, there's a reason why this isn't happening. God bless.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think, I mean, that kind of hits on one of the questions that you brought up, like in our notes beforehand, like how do you process it, and like how do you make good with like the future
Yeah.
of everything kind of, being okay. And like, I don't know, like at a certain point, you're like, this person has made this decision, or this decision has collectively been made, however it is. And, like it's hard to sit in limbo and think like, well, this could go back to that, or it could it's just like, you almost
Right.
have to live
Yeah.
your life like there's no turning back, and you're building your life and rebuilding yourself, like, because a big part about being in a relationship is like giving a lot of yourself to somebody else. So when you break up with somebody, like you kind of like have to shed this entire skin that's like this
Yeah.
whole piece of you that you're like, you have to
Wow.
kind of like find yourself again,
Well said.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that was very well said. And I think Aaron's doing a good job at looking at the silver lining of, yeah, thank God I did shed that, and I didn't end up with him because wow, this future is way brighter than what I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's good. I kind of get like, I still like a lot of my exes have blocked me on everything, I don't know. My last relationship, we shared a dog, and that was like, that felt like, because we were like, did like the, shared
Custody.
parenting a little
Co-parent.
bit, and then one day it just stopped,
Oh no.
blocked on everything, and I was
I
like,
didn't know that.
no.
Oh, that's sad.
It's all right. Yeah, it is hard. That's definitely the hardest part. Like, you miss that a lot,
It's a
you know.
very difficult thing.
It is. It
I
is.
have a couple of friends that have
Johnny, yeah, I
I've talked
remember
to you
you were
about this.
telling me about that, the female friend you had who was
That's
going
been
through it.
going through that, and
Yeah, it's brutal.
it's messy, like, and especially because it's not a person. It's
Yeah.
the way the law looks at it is like, this is a possession. It's like,
Oh
Yeah.
wow.
oh well, my girlfriend bought me this PS5, but now she wants to split it with me. It's like,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
like it's obviously a lot more than that. Like it's a lot more than that. But the way that like the courts look at it is like, well, this isn't a person. This is a dog.
Yeah. No, I
And
know.
Oh, that's
so it's and so yeah, there's certain things that like, and was it a gift or like it's
Yeah.
yeah, it's
So much comes into it, and it's just like sometimes it's easier to just kind of move on. But
yeah, yeah,
cut your losses, yeah.
it's
As
tough.
painful as they are.
yeah,
Yeah. But yeah, those are the things you miss and you think about. The grass wasn't always greener up back there, but
Right.
it had some green patches. Um, yeah, and you live and you learn from that.
Yeah.
and
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 it's like,
and
yeah, Johnny, go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say, like, I think going back to what I was saying before too, and it's interesting to say that too. It's like you almost, you go back, you reinvent yourself, and you create this whole new life for yourself, and and it's just like going, and that's part of the grief and the coping with moving on from somebody, and there's obviously like certain things that we all had to do in order to like kind of get past that and build the new
Yeah.
life for ourselves.
Mhm.
Like I, not it took me a while, but for me to move to LA, it was like I I had it on my mind. I had a vision for it, and it was like just very. I'm gonna do this when it's right for me, and
Yeah.
it took me almost 2 years to basically leave New York, move back to Boston, spend some time here, and just kind of plot to do that, and like just
Yeah.
the reinvention of myself within all that, and like the things that I did to cope with everything, and make myself my own person again, and then like go out. And I mean, I never really lived by myself before. Like I moved into
Yeah.
my own apartment, and I'm like, wow, I built this life for myself, and I think that's some
Um,
like I remember moving into my apartment, and like I had like it took me a while. I was like ordering furniture and shit, and like I like bought a rug one day, and like it came in, and I set it out, and I came home from like I was out for a little bit, and I came home and like saw my apartment. I was like, I it was this one rug, that changed it all. I was like, I have a
Started
place.
from the bottom,
This
now
is
we
my
here.
this is my apartment. I live here now. Like this is my place, and it was like a really like important
Come up,
moment.
man.
And yeah, just like you put the work in as hard as it is. Like you get through it, and you do things for yourself.
Yeah.
And those when you get to do those things, and I just realized like, wow, I made this life for myself, and like it's not always easy. I still go through it, and still struggle, but I still think that like remembering like, hey, think about where you were 6 months ago or a year ago, like that always, I don't know, I think like that helps.
Yes, for
Totally.
sure.
Sometimes all it takes is a rug.
That's it, man. Dude, literally, like I walked into my apartment, and I like had like it like knocked the wind out of me. It was like weird,
This
this
is
tiny little thing, like
that's
I bought a
beautiful.
rug, and it changed. I was like, I have a place now. I have a full.
This
It,
is it.
it felt like I was like living in like a divorced dad's apartment. Like,
First customization complete.
yeah, literally.
Divorced dad's apartment.
Right.
Oh, that's great. Like, I mean, yeah. I mean, now, like thinking back, Johnny, it feels like it's been a lifetime since you've been in New York. Like,
Yeah.
lived there. It's crazy.
That's
You're
3
such a
years.
big part of like
3
who I
years.
saw you as almost. Like, I'm
Yeah.
not saying like
No, I mean, I'm even listening
you
to.
had conquered that place.
Yeah.
Like,
It's crazy. Like even listening to you and Erin, your first podcast, and you're
oh
talking
yeah. You're
coming down to
like
my apartment. And
kooky roommates.
yeah, yeah, this like quirky roommates and like funny little like artsy like apartment. I was like,
Really
you know
was.
what? It was like I lived in this like funny like New York City apartment, and it was fun. Like we just
It really
and then
was.
to think about where I coming from that to like when you saw my last apartment, it's like I always dreamed of living in that neighborhood and
Dumbo, that
living in
was crazy.
So
I would brag about that. My friend
yeah,
lives there.
yeah,
Yeah, that's his
yeah.
backyard, you know.
Yeah, it's like every fucking movie has you saw
Every
this
time a
great
commercial comes on, I'm like, oh, I was like Leonardo DiCaprio. Oh.
yeah, right. It's like an infinity commercial.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, but no, and those are the tough things. Like when I moved to New York, I like aspired for these things, right? Like I always want to live in that neighborhood, and like the sad part about leaving there was like, oh, it's like sometimes everything you ever wanted like doesn't always come to you when you need it,
Yeah,
when it's supposed to happen. And I'm grateful for it all. And
you
I
did it.
still see that image of that street, and it's still a punch in the gut. But at the same time, I'm like, you
You
know,
did it.
I can always say I did that.
But I
Uh,
think we all can agree that I think the younger generation has dating worse than us. I
Do
couldn't
you think?
imagine coming up in this world. Now you got like AI girls coming into play. You got,
yeah.
God, it's like insane.
I feel like it's gonna go back to like the boomer, like you meet your girlfriend in high school or college, and
It's gonna have to be.
yeah,
Yeah, my cousin he's like 10 years younger than us. He met his girlfriend in college and he's like in a loving, caring relationship. And I'm like, how did you get so lucky?
But like
I don't
even
know.
like it's just like kids now I feel like are much more like they feel connected, but they're actually disconnected because it's just like they'll go home and play video games, with
Yes.
their friends, and
Hmm.
it's just they're just sitting at home alone, you
Yeah,
know? And I think it's very easy to get deceived that way too now. Just the
yeah,
catfishing now. Oh my God. It's crazy.
yeah.
I
It's
don't know.
pretty
That's
sad.
just my take.
No, I
No,
agree. I don't think kids today hang out as much as we did when we were younger. Like when we were younger, I mean, I can't speak for you, but my mom would be like, it's a nice day, go outside and play with the
Yeah.
neighbors. And we were
Look at which
never
house had the
allowed
most
inside.
bikes. You go over
yeah,
there.
yeah,
All the bikes are over at Scott's house. Let's head over
yeah.
there.
No,
Yeah.
my friends and I would like ride our bikes to the baseball field like almost every day
Yeah.
during the summer. And then they built a skate park up the street, so like we just like would go there and just
That's
like
crazy.
it was insane. And then like our like the girls would show up just to like hang out, and like it was like it was just like fun, It was like innocent.
God, that
I
sounds
don't know.
beautiful. That sounds like a California dream. I know it was in Massachusetts, but
Yeah.
like that sounds like it was in San Diego or something. Skate park up the road in Vallejo.
Yeah. We should have like I have like $10. How much money do you have? It's like we
Oh
like
man, $10
whatever.
was like a million back then
Yeah.
too. That was
Yeah.
crazy. We also had like the baseball field that we'd meet up at. It was like this little park called Grambrook, and that's where everyone rode their bikes there.
Well, it was cool because like if your game wasn't like if you're this is like little league into like a little bit later, like if you
Yeah.
weren't playing that day, you'd go and you like watch your friends play, and then they'd come to your game the next day or whatever. And like I don't know,
Yeah.
it was just funny,
And then they
funny
built a YMCA near
Oh
us, like the Greater Hartford one, and that
yeah,
was like the new spot.
Yeah.
That
Go
was
play
the new
basketball
spot.
every day for like 10
Yeah.
hours.
Yeah. They also had like a computer lab too that we could use. So it was
Oh,
like we'd
cool.
call and then we'd go play like check out the computer lab.
Yeah.
They had all those like old Macs on
Yeah, the
with like
Kids
old
the
Mac.
don't
color.
have
Yeah.
computer lab anymore.
Yeah.
What's that?
Kids don't have computer lab anymore.
No,
No,
no.
because they like just give every kid an iPad now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly,
true. They don't need
exactly.
education on computers. That's like where all they already know how to use them.
Yeah.
You don't need a class on it.
No, unfortunately.
That's like bred in on kinder. You learn to code in kindergarten now before you read.
Yeah.
Ones and zeros is the first thing they learn.
We'll never know that,
Yeah, not us. Crazy. Yeah, no, I do think we have it a little. We're kind of more seasoned. I think we all kind of were like almost burned by the internet a little bit, because like when, dude, Facebook, that was like the Wild West. I look at some of the things I used to post back then. I'm like, I can't even believe it.
MySpace.
Like,
Yeah.
oh my, MySpace has been permanently deleted from me. I would never even go and check that. But like,
I don't think it's a thing anymore.
yeah, I'm not gonna look and find out. That's for sure. I'm not gonna go digging. I'm not gonna go digging to see if it's there somehow.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's like Facebook will like just bring up like a random post that I like wrote on my friend's wall. Like I'm like, oh my God, how do I
2011.
delete that?
Yeah.
I said that in 2009? What was I thinking?
Yeah.
Or like even like when I was like a freshman when in like our dorm rooms, Erin, like
Mhm.
you would leave your Facebook up and someone would just come and write like a messed up status,
Yeah.
You're like, oh,
Yeah.
I got hacked, whatever. You
Hacked.
leave it.
Yeah.
And then that'll come up. I'll be like, why the hell did I tweet that? 10 years ago, you thought this. You're
Yeah.
like,
I didn't even
God.
delete it.
In college, I used to post song lyrics with no context, and it wouldn't have anything relatable to do with my life. It was just a song
That was
I
a big
liked.
thing for me too. I remember that song. It was like, "Can we pretend that airplanes in the night sky?" Like, I remember
Yeah.
that was like, I hadn't heard that song yet because I think I was like studying abroad or something. I remember I went on Facebook and it was like everybody had that as their status. I was
Yeah.
like, what is going on?
Yeah. Everyone's
What
going
is
through something right now.
Yeah, I know. Everyone needed a wish.
I can relate to
They
this.
needed a wish. I was like, oh God, what's happening? What is there? Some sort of contest I'm missing?
Yeah.
Yeah, those song lyric days. But no, it was like the Wild West back then. So, and I think like we were all kind of not like we were like harmlessly burned, where we kind of were like, okay, I should be a little more careful, where it's like this generation is like one little mistake could turn into a big one very, very fast.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think about that too. It's like coming from that to where we are now. We watched like we invented the internet,
It was
right?
crazy.
These
It
Gen
was
Z kids are
crazy.
like
We
on
literally grew
TikTok,
with it.
like these Gen Z kids are on TikTok, like, oh, the millennial pause. And it's like, listen,
I
You
hate
have
that
no
millennial
idea.
pause.
I was there when it was
we
written.
invent, yeah, yeah, yeah. We used to steal music at the risk of our entire family coming down.
The cops coming
You
to our front
loser.
door.
Yeah, literally.
Piracy.
You have
Back when
no
they actually
idea the
cared about
excuses I had to
prosecution.
make for these viruses that I was putting on my computer.
Yeah.
You weren't in the trenches with me.
Downloaded the wrong Blink 182, all the small things on LimeWire, and
Yeah.
computer didn't work again.
Yeah. Thought I was downloading something and it ended up being just some indie rap artist who is just spewing nonsense. So that was a waste. Another 6 hours gone. I'll find that song I'm looking for.
Oh man.
LimeWire. That was my jam.
LimeWire.
Yeah. Somebody picked up the phone.
Oh, God. We didn't have the two lines. We didn't have the two lines. We were booted. It
Man,
was a disaster. Yeah. Yeah, we
yeah.
literally grew with it. We learned from it. Now these kids are just thrown into it.
Oh yeah. Right away. But that maybe that, I don't know, maybe that's why we're like the decision making process for all of us is just like we know the world before that of
Yeah,
us riding our bikes to the baseball field,
exactly.
and we know the world after it of like how bad it's gotten, and it's like,
It's
I don't
like
know.
so many of us are like, I don't want to get into the digital space with dating. You know, like the 30-year-olds are like, God, I don't know. Not for me.
Don't sign me up.
I gotta
No.
tell people I'm old fashioned. I'm like,
And
what am I
again, like
saying here?
looking at that
I'm old
number, it's like,
fashioned about things. I guess I'm an old soul.
yeah. But like looking at that number, it's like, wow, whatever 90% of like people meet online now is just like, that's it.
I mean, I went to a wedding and the groom, the first line of his speech was, "Who would have thought a swipe right would lead to this?" And you're like, wow, who
Yeah.
would have?
And like, I
Not
don't know.
me.
Especially now, I think maybe part of this too is like because of how much work from home there is, you know.
Oh God, yeah.
And like I
Right.
never really had a real job, so I kind of get it, but
Johnny,
like
you have been in the streets, brother.
yeah.
You have been out there. Me too, man. I'm an
Yeah.
office guy.
Yeah.
I'm a boots on ground guy.
I
Yeah.
mean,
We got to hold on till dawn, you know?
right.
There it is. He said the name of the movie.
I keep trying to make the full circle moments. Okay.
That that is a callback. Man, did we miss anything?
I'm a
Got any bullet
production
points?
guy.
No, I
Anything?
feel like we got it all. We can wrap this up.
No, it's good. I think we did cover a lot. I mean, breakups are hard. We all go through them. Oh, we got a cat in the background.
I was just gonna say, you got someone making a
There
special
he
appearance.
is.
How
Come
long
on
has he been
over,
up
Duke.
there
Come on
hiding?
over, Duke. Hey, bud.
That's so funny.
Was he sleeping like in the bread box? Like,
Right, because like there's a counter there. We would have seen
yeah, we
him.
just see him
No,
go
there's a window there that he can climb through into the living room.
up. Wow, totally
A lot
threw
of
me off.
tricks here.
Yeah,
Wow.
It's a phantom wall.
man.
No,
Who
yeah,
knew,
there's
who knew this heavy, this heavy of a podcast could be so lighthearted?
this was great. This was
Mhm.
much better than what I thought we were walking into. I
It
poured a
was
drink before this.
scared.
Just-
I did have a drink before this.
Good. Loosey goosey.
I love to hear it. You got to do it.
I know. Johnny, that ring light is great.
Thank you.
That thing, you shouldn't have gave away your secret. It looks like
It's
a sunny afternoon.
it's the what's her name? Dixie D'Amelio ring light.
Oof.
Oh,
Yeah,
I need to invest in that.
I think it was like $50. Has like a
Amazon.
bunch of different colors.
That's not bad.
Yeah,
Cool.
Oh, you guys, this was great.
It
This was good. I
was.
needed this. I think other people are going to need this.
definitely.
Just us spewing about nothing and how terrible dating is. This is going to be great. Aaron's best
How we're holding
podcast.
on till dawn.
Well, I think there's plenty of people that can
Totally. I was just messing.
relate.
I was messing.
No. I you were joking, but not joking at the same
Yeah.
time. Like I
Yeah.
think there are plenty of people that will relate to why the dating culture is so weird right now. Why it's so easy for people to just kind of like
Ghost.
walk away from ghost and just
Wait,
I don't know.
one thing we didn't touch on, which I feel like we have to close this episode out with,
Definitely.
is we talked about like all the bad things about dating right now, but we didn't talk about like how do you have hope that you will find the right person and that there is someone out there for you and that don't abandon all hope.
That's a very, very, very great point. And I think that's the best way to end this podcast.
I agree.
Yeah.
And there is no hope. It's over. We lost.
No. I have hope because I don't know, maybe this is a weird take, but like I see the way that like society works in patterns, like the ebbs and flows and the waves that like of how certain things work. And I think that we're getting past that weird, strange wave crashing down of like this difficult time in dating because everybody's sick of it, right? Eventually, people are just gonna be like, whatever, let's stop being this way. Let's push back on it, like against the grain. And like, I think that eventually going out and meeting people in public and the more traditional ways may work. And I think that the dating apps will bounce back too because of that, because people will be more open to going on dates and being a little bit more spontaneous and like,
Yeah.
because you have to. I think what I've realized is that if you don't devote the time to certain things, especially dating, you're never going to get anything out of it.
Yeah.
And
You
people
get out
are
what you put in.
exactly, and people are complaining about it, but nobody's putting the time for it. People are just being
Mm.
overly selective, and which is fine. But eventually, some people have to just kind of be like, it's got to go back to the way that it was,
Yeah.
5, 6, 7, 8 years ago, like when it was a lot easier to date or meet people, and otherwise, it's going to get worse. And I just have hope that it will go back. The society will sort of bend again and be more open to meeting people and getting into situations where they're like at least devoting time and effort
Yeah.
and energy into dating, and eventually I think that'll bounce back.
Yeah, I'd like to piggyback off of what you just said, John, too. It's like I think there's a lot of people that are like-minded like us that are like, look, I can't do it. And they are going to figure out a way to kind of put themselves out there in a new way. And I think it's exactly like you said, you get out what you put in. And as I get older, I learn what I do want to put into a relationship. And you kind of learn like, well, when I was doing that, it was going very well. So I can kind of like put more of my chips into doing those things, to kind of help build things. And I've gotten much better at recognizing like negative behavior too when dating. So it's like you can kind of find like build yourself up a little more as you go through the future. But yeah, I agree. Like it's like you get out what you put in. And I think that there's a lot more like-minded people like this that are so sick of what the bullshit that's been
Mm,
going on that they're gonna figure out how to put themselves out there. And it's like you said, once people start dating more traditionally, like out there, these dating apps are gonna have to adjust. It's in their best interest to evolve into something, to try and get people back on their apps. And I think that will make it better. Because
agree.
or else, like Johnny said, man, it's pretty grim if it's not.
Yeah,
It's not.
yeah.
Not
I
too
think
good.
enough people are having these conversations too. I mean, we're three
Yeah,
people in. Yes, we're all friends, but we all are in three different
yeah,
situations in our lives, in our professional
yeah.
lives, in our personal lives, and so it's. But I think, share similar sentiments. So I think there's plenty of people
Totally agree. And I
that
think
feel that way.
like you said, we are not the only people having this conversation. People are definitely fed up. Like it's getting kind of weird,
Yeah,
Yes.
and people want to get their lives going.
Mm-hmm.
They want what they want and they want to find it, and I don't know. You get out what you put in. I like that, Johnny.
yeah,
Is that the name of the episode? You get out what you put in?
Put a stamp on it.
yeah.
Put a stamp on it.
Cut, print, check the gate. Moving
Get
on.
out what you put in.
Oh, well, thank you guys for being here. This was so much fun.
I really like this
Wouldn't
chat.
do it
This
for
is a
anybody
really good
else, Erin.
space.
Thank you.
I know. This is
We have to
good.
meet up, the three of us, in person sometime within the next year.
Let's do it.
Please.
We'll figure it
Please.
out.
We'll figure it out. We'll get something in the books. We got the group chat now.
Yeah.
Things are good.
The group chat's going strong for like 4 years now.
I know we've had the group chat since
You're actually right.
Hold on till it's gone.
2019.
It's
been a good 4 to 5 years. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't hate popping on these podcasts. Whenever you need me, pull me
Yeah.
in. Just grab
Thanks.
me.
Thanks. We'll see how this episode does, and then I'll let you know.
You got yourself 2 co-hosts whenever you need us.
This is it.
Awesome. I
You
love
got it.
Thank you.
I'm locked in.
All right.
Ugh,
Well,
all right, guys.
Thank you again.
Appreciate you guys.
Soon. Bye.
See ya.
Thank you so much for listening. Our website is holdontildawn.com and our email is holdontildawn@gmail.com. You can follow us on Instagram at holdontildawn and on Facebook at Hold On Till Dawn Benefit Concert. See you next time.